This is Behind the Scenes Oklahoma.
Hey everyone, welcome to Behind the Scenes Oklahoma, where we take you inside the people, policies, and productions shaping Oklahoma's growing film and media industry. And today we want to give a big thank you and shout out to our sponsor, Tatermash, proudly made in Tulsa since 2002. Tatermash offers full service embroidery and digitizing, helping businesses, schools, and organizations bring their brands to life through custom logos, monograms, names, and so much more. So thank you, Tatermash, for being our sponsor today.
Awesome, Anna. Thank you. Okay, so today on the show, we're talking about an exciting new development, the Tulsa Film Incentive Program, which is putting Tulsa even more firmly on the map as a destination for film and television production. So to help us break it all down, we're joined by someone who's been instrumental in bringing this program to life. Please welcome Meg Gould, Executive Director of Tulsa Film and Music Arts Commission. Meg, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, so real quick, before we get into this, obviously we want to talk about the film incentive, but real quick, give us your background and what you're doing for the.
Sure. I have a background in film, so it's always been a love of mine. I started my career out in Los Angeles, I think the largest project I did was Godzilla. Well, I know it was, but yeah. So I did everything from Garth Brooks' video to the Academy Awards on up to Godzilla. Then I moved to Dallas, worked on Walker Texas Ranger. After that was approached to join their film commission. So I worked my way up to the assistant director in Dallas for the Dallas Film Commission. 3 years ago, I moved here to become the executive director of the Tulsa Office of Film, Music, Arts, and Culture.
Awesome. I knew you had a deep resume in film. I just couldn't regurgitate it myself, but that
was a really quick overview.
Yeah, that's what we wanted for the listeners. Listen, what we want to talk about, tell us about real high level about this new incentive program, and we'll have some follow-up questions, but give us the high level of what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, in order to be competitive with other cities and states often create an incentive program. So with the incentive program, the state of Oklahoma offers 20 to 30% back on money spent in Oklahoma. So a lot of that money is going into our local businesses. It's hiring our local crew. It's hiring caterers, using our dry cleaners, etc. So we love to see that money going right back into our economy. In order to be competitive with other cities, whether it may be Albuquerque or Dallas or even Oklahoma City, we're looking at ways that we can do it on a local level. So we decided to launch a local incentive. This local incentive can be stacked on the state incentive. It can be stacked on Oklahoma City's incentive. It can be stacked on Cherokee Nation's incentive. So it gives the filmmaker more money and an incentive to come and film in the Tulsa region. So we're really excited about it. It's going to bring a little bit more production here, we believe. We have a lot that is already looking in the area, and this could just be the cherry on top because they want to film in Tulsa, but may not be able to make their budget work. And when we're able to give them $50,000, $75,000 towards what they're spending in Tulsa, then it's just kind of helps us with that little sweetener as well. So it's exciting. Ours is a little bit lower than some others, but we are working to make this work for Tulsa, and we think that this is perfect for it.
And what's the amount, the total amount for 2026?
We have $400,000 for our first year. And so we are looking at other revenue streams in order to keep that going and keep it pretty consistent. Right now, we raise the funds privately. So we're looking, how can we get the city more involved? How can we get the county more involved? So we'll kind of continue down that road just to make sure that we're consistent. And
well, it'll be helpful once you have a test case.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where you can look and say, listen, this is what this produced.
Well, and actually we did one as we were kind of rolling this out. Randy and Talia with Rebellion Films had a film that was coming out. And so Talia is like a guru when it comes to like all things incentives. So I asked her advice quite a bit, and I said, "Hey, can we use you as a test case?" So for Horrified, which I know that you're very familiar with, we offered them to be our beta tester and was able to get them an incentive and saw it was really great because we could see kind of what worked, what didn't work, and what else we need to know.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does it work? So you got 400,000, I'm doing a film,
Yep.
and let's say my budget's $200,000 or maybe $1 million. Let's do $1 million. I've got $1 million budget. I want to film in Tulsa. What do I need to qualify and how does it work?
Well, you have to first of all spend $100,000 in the Tulsa Production Zone, which is a 30-mile radius from downtown.
Okay.
We encourage you to also hire at least 50% local labor, which is a 45-mile radius from downtown. We want you to increase that because we want our locals working. And then we encourage you to film in our studios like Cherokee Studio. We ask that you do 50% of your filming days in the Tulsa Production Zone and on up. So there's like several different things for in consideration that's beyond that will help you be kind of like get additional points towards whether you'll receive the incentive or not and be accepted in the program. We open this up quarterly, and we will be taking our next quarter will open in the beginning of March and then close April 15th, and then we'll award it soon after. So we're really excited about it, and it is a work in process. So it's hopefully we'll get it right out of the bat, but right out of the gate and stuff. But hopefully, we can continue this and increase what we're able to give out.
The bigger
Oh.
productions coming in and wanting to lure those in. How about this local Tulsans or the local Oklahomans who have these projects and maybe they don't have the full budget yet, but they want to get that budget to throw in to get that incentive. So how are we helping all the local creatives here?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons that we lowered it down to $100,000 spend. We needed it to still make sense with the economic impact of what their money goes towards. And, we have to think about our local economy here. But the $100,000 local spend can go to a lower budget production, and a $50,000 grant. Well, it won't quite get that high because it starts at 5% for 100,000 up to 5 million, but it's capped at 50,000. Over 5 million, it will be capped at 75,000. So with that, we will be able to help some of those locals that may not be able to raise all the capital, but at least with our incentive, it will help them get more financing. It will also give them money back towards what they spent here.
So you answered the question right there. It's 5%. That's what my follow-up question was. Wondering.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's kind of convoluted because of the way that it's capped as well. So we want to make sure that these lower budgets are considered. And so we started at 5%.
Makes sense.
So I think about all the creatives in Tulsa who have so many projects. I mean, it's so fascinating to be here right now and be in the mix of it. And you guys are doing so much at the chamber and FMAC. What should we do next? Let's say we have a project. Let's say we don't have all the money. Let's say from a creative standpoint, what should we do next to understand this incentive and how we can best apply for it and possibly receive it?
Well, you have to apply 60 days before production date. And then you have to show us that you do have some financing in place. We do understand that sometimes with these incentives, it helps guarantee the rest of your financing. So we want to give you the opportunity to raise that capital within that, 60 days or 120 days, whatever it might be from when you are applying for this. So we will give you an acceptance letter, and then we need to know that you have the rest of the financing put in place before you start filming, because we want to make sure everybody is paid and that, you're doing what you promised that you were doing in good faith with applying for this incentive. So we have all the rules and regulations on our website. We also have the application that's available on our website.
And can you
which is
tell us that website just so the listeners?
Sure. It's TulsaFMAC.com. So TulsaFMAC.com. And on the homepage, it says, Tulsa's new incentive. So you can click on that and it'll take you to our overall incentive page. So you see, first of all, what is available in our area. So whether it's the Broken Arrow incentive, whether it's our incentive or Cherokee Film or the states, all the information's right there. So click through on our incentive and then you can scroll down. You'll see the application tab. You click that and you just go to the application and complete all the information that we need to know.
And you can do multiple incentives, right? You can apply for the state, for the Broken Arrow, the film friendly incentives. Is there
Yeah. And they're all
capacity with that?
They're all stackable.
Okay.
So, you have to qualify for each one. So just because you may qualify for the state doesn't mean you're going to qualify for ours. We have a lower amount of money, so we have to really look at these applications and making sure that we're awarding them to, an appropriate project. So we basically, you just need to go in and apply for each one. Each one has different rules and regulations and different qualifications. So we just encourage you to kind of get to know those. We have one project that's already been awarded the states and Broken Arrow and then has applied for ours. So it is doable. So if you're getting 30% back from the state, then you could qualify for an additional, percentage of 5 to 10 more percent.
Now, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Trust
And
me,
again,
Meg.
it's what's spent in our areas. So, Broken Arrow is within our zone. So that could, that kind of stacks it there. And some of Cherokee Nation's in our zone too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the ripple effect, it'll be interesting, Meg, to gather that information to figure out what it does for our economy because
Absolutely.
you're getting that buy-in. And I've seen it. Anna and I have been on the sets of these movies. We see the people that are being employed and all the equipment that's being used and so on and so forth. It's hard to articulate that to our government to say, this is a really good investment for our city.
Absolutely. And we do have an economic impact model that I can plug all these numbers into, and it tells me exactly what's going back into our economy, how many jobs were created,
Oh,
etc.
that's neat.
Yeah. So we thought about this quite a bit and we wanted to make sure again that it's right for Tulsa. So when we do that, this is something that we need to make sure that our community understands why we're doing this and what the impact of doing a film incentive is.
Are there any opposition? I mean, what would the opposition be to this and the money going towards this versus something else?
The opposition usually is people's misunderstanding that this is going to Hollywood. So a lot of people are like going, okay, this is leaving our state. It's not leaving our states. We're reinvesting in ourselves here. We're helping people stay employed. And that's one thing that people don't know is that film crews go from job to job to job. So they're freelancers. So when one job ends, they need to find their next job. And if we're not bringing in those productions into Tulsa, they don't have their next job. So this will help keep productions coming in, keep people employed, not having to find another job or going on unemployment. Then they're spending the money right back here in our green country. We are like I said, investing back into our local economy.
Okay, I want everyone to hear that. It's not going to Hollywood, it's creating Hollywood right here in the heartland. And as a freelancer who does too many things to pay the bills, it is so important to have these jobs constantly here. It's about sustainability, not just a one-time thing and you had fun. This is about sustainability and especially sustaining the creatives here in Tulsa, which is a win-win. The economy, creatives create the economy supports the creatives. It's awesome. So what does success look like? Let's say a year from now, what would success look like for you?
That we spent every single penny from our incentive. And then we have like I said, we have this economic impact model and that we are able to show where that money went and then be able to increase our incentive and say, we helped, whether it may be 4, maybe 10 different projects past or get their films made or their television series made or their commercial or whatever it might be. We want to make sure that we're helping not only those locals that are making films here, but those people that are just working locally and really depending on films, etc., to come into Tulsa to have that work.
Awesome.
Well, Tom, I wanted to kind of throw you under the bus for a second. I know you are working on a film,
I am.
and have you considered this incentive?
Yes. I I will definitely be applying for both the state, as many as I can get to get the film done. Our budget, we're working on the budget right now. I would like to shoot it this summer, but it may be next summer. All depends on raising money and that sort of thing. But I will be relying heavily on the incentives, and I want it to be done in Tulsa. I mean, this is part of the mission of Behind the Scenes Oklahoma, is to promote film in the state, and I want the entire movie filmed in Tulsa.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let me know what I can do in order to help. Not
Thank you.
only incentives, but we help with all kinds of things. So we help with resources. We help with finding hotels. Can help you find locations. We connect crew to the projects coming in. So, we do more than just the incentive. And we're also working on several other things to make it easier to film here in Tulsa as well. And so as those roll out, I'll make sure that you guys know that too.
That's awesome. Thank you, Meg. That's a really good resource, by the way. I never even put two and two together that you should be one of my first calls saying, okay, we
What?
greenlighted this.
Meg is number one.
We need a local crew.
I always feel
Yeah.
for Meg. I'm like, she is just out there. She's working. You're working so hard.
Thank you. I just love the film industry and I love what it's doing here in Tulsa. We have some of the best film crews. Our sets are like nowhere else I've ever been. I've been in LA, I've been to Dallas, I've been like all over working on sets. But walking onto a set here in Tulsa is completely different. It is very calm. People respect one another. There's not a lot of chaos. So it's unbelievable. And so I really want Hollywood to learn from Tulsa.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it.
One more thing, I want our creatives to know about your database. So you have a robust
Mhm.
database in case, I'm sure our creatives already know, but in case you don't, tell them about it.
Yeah, we have a database for crew support services. And then we also have a musician one. So we always encourage the musicians to sign up in that because we point to that quite a bit when it comes to films coming here in Tulsa. We want them to use our local musicians. The Lowdown did a fantastic job with that. So we want to continue giving our local musicians that exposure. For the cast and crew, or sorry, we don't have an actors database, but
Not
for the
yet.
crew, sorry,
Not
but
yet.
we do have a crew database and support services. It's available on our website. Again, that's tulsafmac.com, and you can just click through, sign up. You do have to have at least 2 paid credits in a category in order to list in it, but you can list other ways as an apprentice or an intern. But that is where we point everybody when they're coming in town, they're looking for crews. We encourage everybody to get listed in that. And it's free. It's free to do.
It would be really helpful for someone like me. I would love when we go out to cast for this film. I would love if there was, I don't think there is a database because you just said it, but it would be great if there was a database for Oklahoma actors, like where I could go in and see their roles and their work, I suppose. And I could
Mhm.
go through each one and be like, oh, that person, that person, that person. It would be helpful in the future. I don't know how we do that, but
Yeah, well, and I will tell you that Cherokee Film has one that's for actors as
oh, they
well. So
do.
if we're looking for a native representation, you can look on theirs as well. So we're not the only ones that have databases. The state has it, Oklahoma City, ours, and then Cherokee Film. So you have all kinds of resources there. And when you're looking for casting, you can always look on our website and look up casting directors or agents and get some resources that way too. There's the Cody Mayos and stuff that are here in Tulsa that will be happy to talk to you about getting some of their actors into your film.
Yeah, I got you with that, Tom. All of us. There's so many of us, but I like that idea of a database, and I think we should push for that somehow with the representation of actors outside of our agents. Even though we all love our agents, but it would be interesting to have that alongside the crew at some point. But with that said, Meg, you also have a lot of events and community events.
We do.
So in case people want to learn more how to get involved, and a lot of strategic, I guess, workshops as well.
Yeah, we do. And we have a newsletter that we put out monthly that lists a lot of these things. Our socials do as well. So, again, on our website, you can sign up for our newsletter, or you can follow us on any platform at tulsafmac.com, or sorry, just at Tulsa FMAC. And so we encourage you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for what's coming out. We're currently redoing our website, so we'll have a little bit more on that as far as any cast or crew calls. We're putting a jobs page up there. Then we do have an events calendar that is tied to our website as well. So we try to add events there too.
Great, great. Tom, have you tried to apply for any incentives yet? Have you
No.
gone online and done that? Okay, I haven't either. One day I want to ask someone outside of and see what that was like, because to me it sounds daunting, but I'm not a numbers person. So I'm
You know,
curious from you, like a numbers person, I'd be like, oh,
I used Rebellion Films, and I actually financed one of them one time, and the state of Oklahoma paid like clockwork, no issues.
Yeah, and as far as like putting numbers and stuff in, you have a budget. So that's where all your numbers come from. So you're not like having to do a lot of accounting on the form itself. You've already done that through your budget. And so we just ask you to break it down as far as like what's being spent here locally in order to qualify. And then on the back end, you'll have an audit by a CPA that will go through and pull out those numbers for you as well of what you need to report. And then that comes to me. I'm the one that's looking at the numbers. I'm the one that's having to go through all of that. So, we're trying to make it as easy as possible to apply for this and then receive your incentive back.
well, thank you for making it easy and accessible and helping our state. Again, it's really exciting time to be here.
Yeah,
Well,
Meg, thank you for joining us.
of course, I'm excited to get this out into the world. It's been a 2-year process, so I'm excited. I hope that we can help bring more to Tulsa.
Well, you've done a lot in the 3 years you've been here, so we appreciate you, and thank you to everyone listening. And we want to give a big shout out to Tatermash. We love supporting anything local, especially when it comes to storytelling and helping businesses across Oklahoma show up with professionalism and art and creativity. So we thank you, Tatermash, and we thank you, Meg. Tom, good to see you over there.
Meg, thank you for joining us on Behind the Scenes Oklahoma. Really
Anytime.
appreciate it.